This is Joy. I'm back again. So I initially tried to go live before, but I wanted to do it again because I didn't see the chat and I had to cut the Wi-Fi off and just do it on my mobile data. I just wanted to make sure that, I could see everybody's chat, comments, and things like that. But if this is you guys' first time watching me, my name is Joy. I am a narcissist abuse coach. I've been dealing with narcissists since 2006, and since 2017, I have been helping former victims, now survivors, heal, move on, and recover after dealing with narcissistic abuse. So I just wanted to come on here. I don't know if I don't even think that I put it in the live what this title is going to be about, but if you go onto my page, you'll probably get an inkling of it. But basically, we're talking about rebuilding your life after abuse, rebuilding your life, and also we're talking about overcoming addictions after narcissistic abuse. And are we obsessed with the narcissist, and are they obsessed with us? And then we'll kind of do a part two. And then we'll also do another live where we're talking about the holiday times and how it can be challenging and different experiences for many different people. Holidays for some people are depressing. Other times for the holidays, it could be stressful, it could be tiresome, it could be overwhelming. Like I said, depending on your situation. And also, before we do get into the topic, I did want to say, if you guys have not, make sure that you do inquire about my self-care holiday package deal, where you guys will get access to all of my books. You guys will get access to white sage incense sticks, which are really good for, purifying your environment, purifying your home. My books are really good, especially if you want to learn more about narcissistic abuse. You want to educate yourself, empower yourself, inform yourself about, these type of individuals that live in this world, and they can have an impact on you in your life, and really just protect yourself from those type of individuals, right? And then also we got some body oil to keep your oil feeling good, keep it nice and moisturized, feeling soft and smooth. We also got coffee tea mugs, for those that are coffee drinkers, tea drinkers, that's really good for that. And Live Narc free t-shirt, Joy Larkin skincare t-shirt. You'll also get a sugar scrub, and things like that. So make sure that you do inquire about my self-care holiday package deal, but actually will be going on sale for $129.97. It is limited time only. So make sure that you do inquire. And hey, everybody, and make sure you guys share with us how is your mental health check? How do you guys feel right now? Is everybody ready for Christmas, the holidays? Hey, y'all. And chime in on the topic. Like I said, we're talking about rebuilding your life after abuse. Also, are we obsessed with the narcissist? And is the narcissist obsessed with us? And we're talking about overcoming addiction. So if anyone feels comfortable enough, share with us. Do any of you guys feel like you got an addiction after narcissistic abuse? Please feel free to share. Now, if you are saying like, well, Joy, what do you mean by addiction? There's many different addictions, right? So some of us may be addicted to social media. Some of us may be addicted to spending money or whatever. Some of us could be addicted to sex. Some of us could be addicted to porn. Some of us could be addicted to overeating. Some of us could be addicted to drama. Some of us could be like a codependent, or, maybe a pushover or a doormat. If you guys don't mind, you want to share maybe like what your addiction is that you got from abuse, or maybe like what it was in the past, or maybe if you know someone dealing with something like this. If you guys don't mind sharing, I would really love to know. But if anything, we did kind of name a bit. Or, you could be addicted to love. Like maybe you're the type of person where you can't be alone, or you feel like you have to be with someone, or, and stuff like that. Or maybe some people could be addicted to attention. Some people love attention. Some people are desperate for attention. So, you do have a lot of that going on. But anyways, I was just bringing that up, you guys, because I realized that sometimes addictions really can affect our lives. They have a big impact, especially, if you're trying to rebuild your life after dealing with abuse. Having an addiction could really hinder that. You get what I'm saying? So let's say maybe you're addicted to, I don't know, maybe you're addicted to drugs or something. That's kind of random. But, or let's say you're addicted to overspending. Let's do that one. Let's say you like overspend, or you spend emotionally or something, or maybe you overeat. Let's do overeating and overspending. So some people might get addicted, to that, especially if they've been abused by a narcissist. So some people may spend because maybe it makes them feel good, or maybe it makes them feel powerful, or I don't know. Or some people may eat, like overeat, because it's a sense of comfort, maybe it's a sense of pleasure, a sense of satisfaction or gratification or something. Every it's different for everyone. A good feeling, or again, it could be sex. Maybe there's people that struggle with sex addictions after a narcissistic abuse and things like that. So just be mindful, and once you can identify your addiction, then you can begin to like work through it. So that's really a big piece of rebuilding your life after abuse, and rebuilding your life after like trauma, because after you've been with a narcissist, or let's say you were raised by a narcissist, like a lot of people had narcissistic parents. So it could really cause them to grow up, and they can have certain addictions. Like some people could be have an addiction to where they may feel entitled. Maybe they might be very entitled, and maybe they could be very like, oh, it's maybe they may feel like they should get their way all the time, like, or some people would say spoiled, like overly spoiled. So you want to be careful with that, because sometimes when you're entitled like that, that can be categorized as a personality disorder. And also, when you're entitled like that, a lot of people can maybe steer away from you, because they're like, well, that makes them feel uncomfortable, and you don't want to be around anyone that's entitled like that. So you do want to be careful about that. But yeah, just kind of be aware of any addictions. I like, and I'll use myself as an example. Like after I dealt with abuse by the narcissist, I had addictions. I would say I definitely had addictions. For me, I think my biggest addiction was I was looking for closure. I was looking for closure, and there's a lot of people that look for closure because they don't get, and it's never an ending with a narcissist, right? A lot of narcissists, they like to keep a door open, so that way eventually they can always come back, just in case if a situation doesn't work out with their new supply, that kind of thing, right? And so I think my addiction also could have been a social media addiction too. Because I was always trying to check to see, like, hey, okay, like, what's going on with the narcissists, what are they doing, that kind of thing. And it's almost to a point, excuse me, you guys, where you become obsessed, which we're going to be talking about in a bit. But you do want to be careful, when you deal with people that have personality disorders, because they can really kind of change your behavior, and they really can kind of change it in a way where you might feel like you're not in control of yourself, and you might feel like you're acting out of a sense of, you're trying to figure things out, like you're trying to solve a mystery, like you're trying to solve a problem, if that makes sense, right? And the whole point with a narcissist is that they don't want to solve a problem, like they want to create problems, right? They want to create drama, they want to create chaos, they want to create confusion, and they want to create mayhem. You get what I'm saying? So like when you're dealing with an individual like that, you do have to be very, very careful. You have to be very careful, and just understand that the narcissist doesn't want to make peace with you. They don't want to make peace with you. They don't want everything to be like ended on good terms. No, they want to go back and forth with you, right? Or they quote unquote they want to beef with you, if that makes sense. That's the kind of thing that the narcissist likes to create. So I just be mindful of that. But yeah, and then as far as obsession, so sometimes the narcissists can really get to a point where they are either obsessed with you, or you may become obsessed with a narcissist. And the reason why I say that is just because of the little things that would happen, the little things that would occur. And for instance, there was an individual that reached out to me because they felt that the narcissist had did something to where it made them feel that maybe the narcissist still had interest, or the narcissist maybe still cared about them, or maybe there was hope for that individual and the narcissist. So sometimes narcissists will do that because that's their aim. They kind of they want to pique your interest, right? They, like I said, they want to keep that door open so that way you can't really fully move on from them. They really want power, right? The narcissist is really after power. They're after, they're trying to control you. A lot of times they try to control outcomes. They want to control situations because they feel like, if they can do that, then they got you, or they have secured you as a supply, or that they can benefit from you in some way, or they can use you in some way, or whatever the case may be. So the narcissist will do things because a lot of the times they do want you to be obsessed with them, right? They do want actually let me tell you, they do want to be able to dictate what goes on in your life, or how situations are for you and things like that. So be careful to keep your power, and don't allow a narcissist to control your life, even if they're not there. Because that's what I was telling the individual that had reached out to me and was asking me, well, why did the narcissist do this? Why is the narcissist looking at my stories, and why are they liking things on my page? Why are they leaving comments and things like that? you know and this is an individual that was really good to the narcissist. Like I said, the narcissist is very picky about who they choose as a target, or who they choose as a supply. Like I said, they're looking for someone that they can manipulate. They're looking for someone that they can mistreat, someone that they can abuse, someone that will be a pushover for them, someone that will be a doormat, someone that will be like a yes person, that like a puppet. You like a puppetry, you guys know the puppet strings and stuff. But that's what the narcissist, that's the type of target, that's the type of supply that they want. Because the narcissist doesn't want a person around them that they have to, like, they don't mind arguing, they don't mind fighting and all that stuff, but they probably don't want to do that every day. So that they'd rather get someone that's maybe like a soft easy target, or a or easy supply, because it's easier for them. So I just want you guys to be careful on that. And then in some cases, depending on the narcissist, every narcissist is different. And you guys can chime in, let me know what you think. But every narcissist is different. Sometimes a narcissist wants more of a challenge. So sometimes they might go for someone that's a little bit more maybe secure in themselves, and maybe that might stand up to them, and put them in their place and things like that. And sometimes a narcissist might like that, but they will also enjoy destroying that person too. So I know it's kind of sick and sad, but that's how a narcissist is, right? So, but yes, a lot of times you might get obsessed with the narcissist. You might, and don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like, well, why am I thinking about this narcissist all the time? Why are they always on my mind? And some of you might dream about you. I know that there was a narcissist that I worked with. It was a female narcissist. Those are the worst. The female ones are the worst. But the female narcissist that I worked with, this individual did do magic on me. I want to say, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I do believe that this person probably did like a death spell, I think. But I'll like confirm that, later on. But that's what I believe. So I think that this individual did magic on me, and I do believe that this individual did magic on a friend of mine as well. Because I guess that this individual didn't want me talking to a friend of mine's. I guess because she felt threatened by me or whatever. I don't know what the case was, but this individual tried to stop me and another friend of mine's from talking. Like this person, like we all work together. So she didn't like it, like when I would go and hug my friend, when I would go and speak to my friend, like she would have an attitude. Like if my friend came over, gave me a hug, or if I would say hi to my friend or my friend would say hi to me, this individual would get upset and try to get her flying monkeys and her minions to try to like stop us from talking and try to stop us from speaking and stuff like that. Because I guess she felt like she wanted to speak to that person only. She didn't want the person to speak to me because she felt bad about herself, or I don't know, whatever the case was. But she didn't stop anything because, you know, whatever in her mind, I don't know, but it didn't stop anything. But anyways, that, I guess that was her plan, because I guess she created a plan with, you know, these people. I guess I don't, they weren't her friends, they were coworkers. So but she, when the narcissist smears you, then the people that they've already smeared you to, they automatically will trust the narcissist and they will believe everything that the narcissist says, because you probably don't even know about it. You probably, you know, you're probably just an innocent person. I myself was very innocent, just so you know. And I wrote, like I said, I wrote a book about it. If you haven't gotten it, make sure that you do read on it. It's actually really good. It's a true story. um but you know, you don't know, like other people could be dealing with this type of situation in a job, and they may not speak up. They may be afraid. They might be afraid of the narcissist, right? Or they might be feeling like, oh, you know, I gotta stay at this job because, you know, it's the end all be all. This is all I have to do, and this is it. This is my life. It's like, no, it's not. Like, you have to believe, you know, you have to believe in God, and you have to know that God doesn't want you to be in that type of environment. God loves you, you know, God really does love you, but you got to love you enough. You know, a lot of times people don't know their value, right? And I'm just being honest, right? A lot of people don't know their value. A lot of people don't know their worth, and you know, sometimes they settle for less. Sometimes people settle for the narcissist. Can you believe that? Some people settle for the narcissist. Some people settle at jobs that they hate. Um, you know, and things like that. And it's sad because, you know, there's more out there. There's more opportunities out there. There's more friendships out there. There's more, you know, people to connect with. You know, there's a lot of people in this world. And you know, just understand that, you know, you don't have to settle for less. I know you might feel like, oh, you know, like, because some people don't want to be alone, and I get it. Some people don't want to start over. Some people, it takes time. It takes patience. It takes time, and not everybody feels like they have the time. Some people just are like, oh, I'm comfortable. Oh, I'm good. Oh, I don't want to do this all over again. But trust me, you are worth it. Like, if you've experienced abuse, you don't have to put up with that. If you experience a toxic job, you don't have to put up with it. You only put up with what you allow. And if you allow yourself to be mistreated and abused at a job, and you know, the longer you stay, the worse it's going to get. And again, I'm not telling anybody to quit their job. Disclaimer, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, you know, it's possible to find something better. You know, if you're in a toxic, abusive relationship with a narcissist, it's possible to find something better. If you're living with your parents, I'm not telling you to move out of your parents' house. I know some folks feel like, you know, they have to be there, they're doing what they got to do, but you don't have to put up with that. I know, like, you feel like obligated, or you feel like you have to sacrifice your happiness, you feel like you have to sacrifice, you know, your peace, and you feel like you have to sacrifice all of this stuff, and it's like, you don't. And some people just feel like they don't have the courage, they don't have it in them, they don't have the strength, they don't have the will. But trust me, where there's a will, there's a way. When you have God on your side, you know that God will look out for you, God will protect you, and God will defend you. And touched me, and I never touched a narcissist. But do you know that God fought that narcissist and kept that narcissist away from me? Even though that narcissist did magic on me, that narcissist lied on me, that narcissist smeared my name, gossiped, stalked, harassed me, followed me around, that narcissist never put a finger on me. You know why? Because God was looking out for me. Now, if I didn't have God in my life, I don't know how things would have been. And that narcissist on a daily basis at my job was provoking me. This person was provoking me so bad. We'll do another video on this, how narcissists will try to provoke you. They will try to provoke you. They'll try to get a reaction out of you. That's what this every day. If you imagine someone poking a bear every day, or imagine a kid being bullied at school every day, what is that kid going to do eventually? That kid's going to go crazy. That kid is going to have a reaction. And that's what the narcissist wants. Don't give it to him. Don't give it to him. Because that's what the narcissists want. You starve that narcissist. You starve them. Right? But yeah. And I'm just so grateful. Like I said, my relationship with God has grown over the years. And it's going to continue to grow, because I'm never letting go of my relationship with God. Because I know that God will never let go of me. And so I'm never letting go of God. Because God has proven to me and shown me over the years that he loves me unconditionally. It's not like, you know how like you have a love with your parents, like your mom and your dad, and they're like, yay, yay daughter, yay son, or whatever. And you know that they may love you or they may reward you based off of, you know, what you do or how you say things, or you know how they want you to do stuff. It's like a conditional love. It's not like an unconditional love, right? You know, like if you're like me, I mean, I've always had a conditional love for my parents. Now I love both of my parents. They're still living, thank God. They both are getting older in age, but I'm grateful that they're still here. I don't, you know, I respect my parents 100%, and I would tell you to respect your parents too. Always show them love and always show them respect, no matter what the case may be. Now, if they're a narcissist, that's a little different. Neither of my parents are narcissists. Did they have narcissistic tendencies, especially on my dad's side? Absolutely, yes. My mother's side, different story. But, you know, if they're normal parents, and let's just say they just did the best that they could, but it wasn't enough, respect your parents. Maybe for some, you may even have to stand up to them, but at the end of the day, I had to learn that God became my parent. God became my mom. God became my dad. And honestly, sometimes it hurts because, you know, sometimes you may feel like you didn't get, you know, the love that you needed when you were a child, when you were growing up, when you needed it the most. But now as an adult, you can begin to reparent yourself. You can begin to rebuild, you know, yourself back up from, you know, when you were hurt or when you were traumatized, or maybe you felt neglected, maybe you felt abandoned, maybe you felt rejected, maybe you felt unloved, or you didn't get attention and you didn't get support, whatever the case may be. Now me, it's all of that and more. Everything that I just said, I felt that growing up. So but it's been a part of my life, and it is what it is. But yeah, as far as, you know, the obsession from the narcissist, if you are obsessed, then that's an addiction too, right? Being obsessed is an addiction. So, you know, just be mindful. Just be mindful. And, you know, sometimes when it comes to rebuilding, maybe it might be a good idea to be obsessed with yourself. You know, be obsessed with improving your life. Be obsessed with loving yourself. Not in a narcissistic way, though. We don't want to encourage that. But, you know, we're just saying be obsessed with bettering your life, improving your life, right? Progressing and, you know, being constructive and being productive. You guys get what I mean? So I hope that makes sense, you guys. I would love to know, what was your takeaway? And I really do want to, you know, get a group of us together, and I want for us to, you know, work on, you know, goals and things that you want to set for yourself for the year 2026. Let me know. Does that interest anybody? Or let's have like weekly calls, bi-weekly calls or something, so that way we can, you know, have things that we can improve in our lives. And this could really help with rebuilding ourselves after the abuse. It could help with healing ourselves, right? I know a lot of folks are hurting. Let's be honest, you guys, we don't live in a friendly world. I know, like, you guys may see those YouTube stuff, those, like, I guess it's like spiritual stuff, and they're like, oh, friendly world. But honestly, I don't know. It's just some people are evil. It's the truth. It's sad, but it's true. Some people are evil, but you do have good people. You have good and you have evil. That's just the reality. And if you're like me, you may have run across a lot of evil people. It's sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. And again, I always like to tell you guys, being honest and being truthful, it may not be popular, but at the end of the day, that's also how you rebuild yourself up after the abuse, when you can be honest with yourself and you can be honest about the situation. Because when you lie, it might feel good in the moment, but you know what a lie does? A lie breaks you down. A lie tears your self-esteem this way. It makes things go backwards. When you are honest, when you're truthful, it builds you up slowly but surely. A lot of people don't feel that way, but that's what happens when you lie. You really strip yourself of of integrity. The integrity's gone. you know Truth, when you lie, it's like you rob yourself of could what could be something that you need to know. You know what I mean? And so that's why I always recommend just tell the truth, you guys. Even if you've been lying to yourself, maybe you lied to yourself about the narcissist, or maybe you lied to yourself about a friendship, or maybe you lied to yourself about your parents, or a job situation, or maybe you lied to yourself about an addiction. Now, I'm not bashing anybody, I'm not beating anybody up, but what do we always say? This is just about assessing everything, recognizing it, so that way we can improve and we can better ourselves, right? Because without the truth, how can we do better? You get it? Kalam, there was a woman on TikTok who used me for attention, and she only valued my attention, never responded back, and accused me of forcing things when I only worshiped the ground she walked on. Oh, I'm sorry, Kalam. She used you for attention. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Kalam. How's everything been with you, though? Everything else has been okay? Are you haven't been in contact with your female narcissist, have you, recently? Yeah, some people will use you for attention. Some people will use you for clout. Like, some people will try to use your name or get you to say their name because it thinks that it might get them something or bring them something. Or some people may like harass and stalk you on social media. Like, what do you call those? The cyberbullies. You have a lot of narcissists that are cyberbullies. You have a lot of narcissists that hang out on online dating sites because, when you're on dating sites, you can really hide yourself. You don't really have to be in honest. You can lie, you can deceive, you can manipulate, you can trick people easier on these dating sites. Certain what do they call them, blogs or web message boards, so that's something to be gamers, like weird stuff like that. So you do want to be careful of that. But yeah, I used to work. This individual lied so much on me, like you would not believe it. And they don't care. Like, they do not care. Like, however that lie affects you, your family, your livelihood, they don't care. As long as they get what they want, that's all they care about. That's all they care about. That's a pretty scary thing. That individual is very dangerous because what I was always taught, like the teachings that I've always learned, that a liar is a thief, a murderer, and a cheat. So if a person is a liar, I'm not tried my best not to lie because I know that God watches me, and I'm very afraid of God. I'm so scared of God. Like, if there's anybody in this world that I'm afraid of, is God. Because at the end of the day, God can bring you in this world to be pleased with me, because I've seen God work in my life, and I know, like, he loves me without a shadow of a doubt. Even when I had nothing, like no food to eat, no place to stay, God was there with me, and God made, and I just, his loyalty to me is unmatched. I've never seen, hold on y'all, we good? Bear with me. I've never seen loyalty like how loyalty from God. So I don't take that for granted. And I know a lot of you guys are like, well, I don't see God. I don't touch God. I don't, you know, I can't see him. I can't feel him. I can't touch him. But I know that that might be true, but you never know. Who knows? But I know what I know just based off of my life experience. So, but we'll do another. Perfect. Yeah. The best way to deal with a narcissist, and if you're for sure that they're a narc or even a toxic person, because sometimes toxic people can turn into narcissists. Not all toxic people are doomed, because you got some people, you know, like, hey, they have addictions, or hey, they have insecurities, or hey, they have traumas like that. And let's say if they're doing the work, let's say they're getting the help that they need and stuff like that, then that person can be saved. But there's some people you just cannot save, and it's just like, that's not your problem. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I always tell people, like, I had a session earlier today, which was great. And if you guys want to book a session with me, you want to talk about narcissistic abuse, you want to talk about mental health addictions, or you want to talk about getting closer to God, or you want to inquire about anything, any of my products and my services, make sure that you guys do message me after this live. I would love to connect with you. I would love to talk to you, because I know what it feels like not to have anybody to talk to about it. And I know what it feels like to be alone. I know what it feels to be rejected. I know what it feels like to be abandoned. I know what it feels like to have people lie on you and accuse you of things you haven't done. I know what it feels like to be embarrassed and humiliated, and people laugh at you for your struggles, and people laugh at you because maybe you make mistakes. And I know I've been there. I've done that. And God delivered me. God saw me through. So it's nothing that God can do. So, let's see. Kalon, you said, I feel so much wiser than ever. I'm proud of myself. Yes, Kalon, that's good. I'm proud of you too. Keep it up. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short, but we'll do a continuation of this video, because I feel like it's really important to talk about. But yeah, be careful when you're online. We'll do like because a lot of people are on their phones now, and the phone can sometimes become dangerous if you don't use the phone wisely. So we'll do a video about, you know, being on social media and narcissism and being on the phone, and be careful who you're connecting with. That's why I really want to you know, have this, like, so not only do I have my free Facebook group called the Healing and the Recovery Room, but I also, if you guys are interested, only people that are serious, people that are interested, if you want to connect more to God, or, you know, maybe you just want to get closer to people that think like you, that maybe have similar interests as yourself, or maybe you just want to improve your life, maybe you just want to better yourself, maybe you want to get wiser, you want to get stronger, you want to be constructive in your life, you want to be more productive, reach out to me. I definitely want to do like a prayer group, or even like a Bible study class, and we can use like Bible you know, references. We can also use, you know, life experience, because that's the only thing that I know, you guys, is my own life experience. You know, and we can also use book references as well, you know, to talk about our mental health challenges. Maybe we can talk about our addictions and talk about how we can improve ourselves from, you know, going into 2006 and beyond, you know, because when we become a better person, our children become better. And when our children become better, our community comes better, our family members, our friends, and it just spreads. Because what we have now, I'll be honest with you guys, just based off, you know, the people that I talk to, and you know, over the years, like everyone that I've ever like had sessions with and coached with and everything, people are hurting. People are hurting, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse. I'm being honest. And it hurts. It's sad. The things that people will do to hurt you, you know, or if that individual has been hurted by someone, it affects them. But the issue is that they're not getting help. They're not getting help. And so they go and affect someone else. And then there's another hurt person. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys can see, like, getting help, getting support is not weak, y'all. It's not. It's strong. It shows that you have strength. It shows that you want to make a change, you want to improve, because in my personal opinion, only a weak person would be like, oh, I don't need help, oh, whatever, this is, whatever, I'm gonna just get on somebody else. And that's not how it works. I need God and I need support, and some people are afraid to say that, but I'm not afraid, because we'll inquire about all of my products and my services, and then also inquire about my group coaching program, and how we can all connect with each other to help each other heal, to help each other, rebuild ourselves up after abuse, help each other, rebuild ourselves up after traumas, after addictions. Addictions they affect us. Because if you don't deal with the addictions, they stay. I don't know if you guys see that, but it's like